Pete's Perspective. What if I could travel back in time and fix the mistakes I made in life, in relationships and job choices? The list goes on. My journey began with a simple thought that grew like an itch that had to be scratched. Obsessive, compulsive, call it what you will, but I will not be distracted from my goal of finding a way to travel through time. I worked relentlessly, driven by a need to know, always pushing myself to the point of self-abuse, if that's a thing. Then one day I fell into a deep, bone-weary sleep. I found it difficult to claw my way back to consciousness. I couldn't tell if an hour, a day, or even a month had passed. I was confused. My memory started clearing, and I slowly pieced together the events that happened. And I shivered. It was so incredible. Even though I experienced it, I could hardly believe it. This is my tale of time travel. It most likely will not convince you, but it did happen. And as I continued working on my devices, my machine manifested in my mind, and a key component was realized. I also had an insight on wave displacement that excited me and drove me on. My best ideas came to me as I tinkered. The engineering and mathematics came natural as I enjoyed the problem solving. That is when I put sound and light together as a working model, and the light bulbs went off. I then knew my machine would work. Back at the lab, as I pondered on what I might see in time, I wondered if I would be able to hear and touch things as well. As I continued on my laser research, I got the breakthrough discovery I needed. By accident, I carelessly tripped on a connecting plug that yanked the gradient wave frequency modulator, revealing the sound parameters I needed. Strange new energy producing colored sound, only visible through the spectral visualizer I invented for this project. This was my project, my dream. Unfortunately, I concluded I needed more powerful facilities. But should I share my discovery with strangers? Risky, but the enormous power I needed could only be found at the test laboratory at the Ivy League College. I knew those frat brats would steal my secret if I ever gave them the chance. I could feel them watching me, listening. I knew they were up to something. I think they were onto me, and I sensed I was working on a time machine. I was being followed at night when I went about town, so I started concealing my key parts of the device from them. The frat brats in their world of cloak and dagger, they were in their element. Secrets are their trade. So my paranoia increased to a disturbing level, but I willed myself to ignore it and continued my work at the lab. The time machine was now very near to being complete, and all that was left was a few minor adjustments. I ran safety checks with the laser. No damage. That's good. So I turned my attention to the junior elites. They wanted the secret to the time machine, but there was no way that was going to happen. I give them an A+ for sneakiness and snooping. It won't be good enough because I covered all the bases. Still, I get a bad feeling they have something up their sleeves, but I can't let that deter me. I decided to take a long walk and think to make sure that I had not forgotten anything. I like to step back before the final button is pushed and just relax. All said and done, I have confidence. I will be going through with the long worked on plan. I hope the reality of the past is as real as the reality of the present. I don't want to be an observer only. I want to be part of it, if possible, and I think it is. It is a coin toss in the end, after all. I take my chances, and I'll accept the risk. Now, there is only one thing left to do, so I went to work on the greatest part of the time machine, the one device that allows one to enter the stream of time. I call it the Omni Transponder, and man, it is something else. The day had arrived. I powered up the computer first and ran some tests. Then I moved on to the vortex portal. It was an incredible sight. The light, the power, it was all mesmerizing. Summoning my courage, I entered. There I was. But where was I? When was I? I wasn't sure I was anywhere. I felt I was in a strange, changing, swirling limbo. I was surrounded by a beautiful mist that I could neither feel or smell or taste, but I could hear it. A wonderful, harmonious vibe. Then I felt ripped into two ages, tearing me in two as one side was affected by waves of time. Being thrown further into the vortex, I saw strange shapes and strange colors, with unknown before sounds, and I was amazed. I believe I was shown the sound regulator in a human likeness. As I further traveled on my journey, I saw what seemed to be men entering and exiting their own time stream portals, then a machine and light silently passing, going on missions of their own business. Continuing on, I came to the red world, where everything is red, is powered by incredible biomechanisms that seem to suck the energy and fire from beneath the ground to produce their energy. The retrieval timer, oh no, it's been triggered, and the hallway to the actual time I'm from has opened, and I have to enter. What the hell? Oh no. As soon as I reappeared in the lab, I heard a tremendous rumble, and the lab started to shake, rattle, and begin to collapse around me. I went into an instinctual mode and scrambled for my life. I ran as fast as humanly possible. That day, I did what it took to make it out of that crumbling mess. At the last second, a mighty explosion rocked the lab, and the pressure wave blew past me, almost killing me, and scaring me intensely. So, come on, Pete, what happened when you stepped in time? I'll tell you, I could not change a thing. Even with all that power and technology, I was defeated. I could not travel for real through time. That is when I realized and learned the past is for experience, which leads to understanding, not regret or revenge or anything else. However, we all time travel when we remember, so focus on the good, not the bad, and use the memory as a learning experience and file it away. Live for today and plan a bit for the future. Dwelling on the past is not always healthy if done too much. I stop banging my head on the wall about tough times I can't go back and change. I just breathe deep and close my eyes. Then I can remember clearly what I want to remember. So when you're on the road of decision, make good ones. My memories, as long as I have them, I can travel time whenever I wish. I control my time through my free will. There really is no such thing as sci-fi time travel, and I am sorry to disappoint you about that. However, we all time travel when we remember, so focus on the good, not the bad, and use the memory as a learning experience, then file it away. Live for today and plan a bit for the future. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Thank God, for He has freely gave you the breath of life and another day and time to do as you will. So make the best of your time, all the time.